Dexter Bristol was found dead 3 weeks ago. He was 58 and had lived in the UK virtually all his life. He was one of thousands of Windrush children. He arrived on his mother's British passport issued in Grenada when he was 8 years old. His last year was spent having to try to prove he was British.
We are not foreigners. We were born British, and I am British. Dexter was British. So is all my family British. We know no one else when we were growing up. No other country, England.
But not British in the eyes of the Home Office.
That's right, yeah. That's right.
Dexter's mother had been a nurse in the NHS for nearly 40 years. She describes her son as a quiet, thoughtful, intelligent man who had never done anything wrong. But she noticed a significant change last year.
Well, he was depressed. Dexter was very depressed over the whole situation. Very depressed.
When he kept on and on about this passport and needing
Well, he said if he don't get his passport, they could cut off his benefit. He's going to lose his flat, and he can't afford to do that.
The 2014 changes to immigration laws left Dexter Bristol with a mountain to climb.
His work, he'd been sacked from his job. He'd been a cleaner and he'd been sacked.
Because?
Because he had no proof of his status. And this is the thing that's been happening. You know, employers, doctors, schools, universities, you name it, have been asking people to prove their status as a result of the 2014 Act. And he was one of those.
She was tasked with trawling through countless records to try to prove a negative. That Dexter Bristol had never left the UK since he was a Windrush child.
We went looking for primary school records. His primary school had closed down. He went to 2 different secondary schools. One of those had closed down and the other one's now a very posh golf club and hotel. We then contacted DWP for his work records, found work records, but they only go back in digital form to 1976. So that was a real problem.
That was not enough.
That was not enough.
Still not enough.
Still not enough. And even though Dexter was here as a child, having arrived in 1968, age 8, we thought, well, there'll be medical records, because we have found medical records in some of these cases. But with Dexter, his medical records only went back to the 80s.
In the week before Easter, there was a breakthrough. His lawyer wrote to her client saying they had found a way to prove he qualified as a British passport holder.
So we wrote to him on the Thursday before Good Friday.
And on Good Friday?
We heard he'd died. He died on the Thursday night. He never got our letter.
He never got the letter?
He never got the letter. And we copied the letter to his mother, and she got it.
Never learned of the possible breakthrough?
Never learnt of the possible breakthrough in writing.
The changes pledged by the government, the offer of help to find information, the promise that no Windrush child will be deported, have all come too late for Dexter Bristol.
Very unfair. I mean, a child come to this country 8 years old and spend 50 years. This is their home. Very unfair.
Do you feel angry?
Very, very angry. I cannot put my words together right now because my mind is not with me. You know.
I understand.
I'm not normally like that, you know that, Jackie. I'm not normally like that, you know. But I'm very, very angry, and I'm grieving at the moment. I'm frustrated. Everything is happening to my life right now. And Miss Theresa May should have another look at the situation she commit in this country. Well, if that's the right word, the situation she creates in this country for the Caribbean and even the Africans, for foreigners. You know, she should have another look, and she should be ashamed of herself. And all the other MPs that is on her side, they should be ashamed of themselves, because we are human beings. I would not accept myself as a foreigner. I'm not a foreigner. This is my home.
This was the first bit of evidence that we got that showed him being here in 1974.
Okay.
Like many other cases, Dexter Bristol's was not simple, but the onus was always on him to find documents from his past.
Yes.
The Home Office has yet to respond.